Hey there, Hostos College graduating class of 2023. Congratulations, you did the thing. Some would say it's the end, but I say it's only the beginning. Get excited. This is the first day of the rest of your life. Please take a moment to pat yourselves on the back and hug those around you who were with you along the way. We know it takes a village. My name is Dionne Nicholls Germain, also known as the Joy Coach. And I feel so blessed to have an opportunity to honor you today. Not only am I inspired by your commitment to complete your studies, but that you did it as a parent. I was a college student and I'm a parent, but I didn't do it at the same time. So I really want to take a moment to acknowledge you for your tenacity, your strength, your courage, and resilience. Don't ever lose that. What you have accomplished is a beautiful reminder that anything is possible when you put your mind to it. This little Black girl born to immigrant parents, raised by a single mother who always worked 2 to 3 jobs to raise 4 kids, and the daughter of a father who was abusive and suffers from schizophrenia. I'm here to tell you that I am living proof of that. I never let my circumstances define me or my future. I let my vision order my steps and ignite me to take some of the biggest leaps of faith that I could have taken. So let me take you back to where my story began, before I became a life coach. It started with a dream. I was a small town girl, had big dreams to work in the big NYC on Fifth Avenue. And I'm happy to say I did that for over 20 years, working in women's luxury wholesale fashion, traveling to Europe, the most beautiful places in the world. By the age of 34, I was the director of sales for the U.S. subsidiary of a French fashion house on 57th and 5th. The weight of the success of that company rested on my shoulders. I was traveling to Paris 4 times a year. I remember my mom crying when I called to tell her that I got the job because she had the foresight to enroll me in French immersion when I was 6. The first thing I want to share is it was not a straight line. My family is from St. Lucia, so when I moved to New York, I was living with my aunt in the heart of East Flatbush, Brooklyn on Linden Avenue. Where's my Flatbush Massive? Okay, I forgot. This is a South Bronx crowd. But anyways, I say this because I remember starting my job search back when we still used newspapers and combed through classifieds to find work. Now, did I just lose most of my millennials and Gen Zers? I really feel old. But I'm not kidding. There was no LinkedIn. There was no internet, period. We still faxed things and made phone calls. And I remember seeing a job posting that said fashion assistant. I got so excited. I got the interview. Turns out the job was at Trump Tower when it was a big deal, only to find out the company did human resource recruiting for the fashion industry. It was not the glamorous picture that I had in my head of working with pretty clothes and traveling the world. At the time, my dream was to become a buyer. Instead, I was working in a cubicle, reviewing resumes and interviewing candidates to get them hired for the very jobs I wanted in an industry I was dying to be in. It was gut-wrenching, boring, but when I walked through those office doors, I showed up with enthusiasm, professionalism, and a positive attitude every day. And guess what? I got promoted. Now remember, I hate what I do, but I also saw it as my training ground to understand the various types of positions available in fashion, how to write a strong resume. I sharpened my interview skills. I learned what publications to read until I was ready to make my move. You see where I'm going with this, right? Which I did make my move after being poached by one of the recruiters to launch a new division within a larger recruitment firm. Now remember, I did not like my job, but I kept my eyes on the prize for a few years. until I gained as many skills and gathered as much knowledge as possible. I share this story with you because I learned some pretty important lessons early on. And the first one is get clear. You have to have a goal, a target that you're working towards. It's so important for us to know what we do want, because that will shape our actions, our decisions, our conversations towards the very thing that we're dreaming of. Now, once we get very specific, remember to stay open. Be flexible so you don't miss out on opportunities. And it usually turns out so much better than what we imagined. So that was one of the biggest lessons for me. Our gifts don't always come packaged exactly the way we expect them to. Because by doing that job, I found out I would have been miserable working as a buyer and found so much more fulfillment working on account management on the wholesale side, which I had never heard of before working in recruiting. So I still got to travel, work with beautiful clothes, without having to spend years crunching numbers behind a computer screen had I gone the buyer path. The third thing is trust the process, be patient, and maintain a spirit of excellence. You never know who's watching. And get in the room, get in the industry, leverage the resources, gain the skills, the knowledge, the insight, network to get work. You're going to find out quickly that your network is your net worth. So really take time, because it's not always what you know, it's who you know. And keep taking action. That's number 6, towards your goals. Be strategic. Momentum matters. And lastly, number 7, keep your eye on the prize, not your current circumstances. Don't focus on where you are now. Keep your eyes on your dream. Know your why. There has to be something bigger than you waking you up every morning to go out there consistently and persistently, even when you don't feel like it. So eventually, I did leave recruiting. I landed my first job in fashion for a luxury Italian firm on 5th Avenue. You may have heard of Roberto Cavalli and Dolce & Gabbana. I was living the dream. And I lived happily ever after, right? Wrong. The division I was working for was shut down after 7 months of being hired. When I got the news, when they told me the entire department was being laid off, it was like all of the wind was knocked out of me. My head was spinning. However, I did not dwell there. I had to pull myself back up, and I was back out, hitting the pavement, researching jobs, sending resumes, interviewing. And thanks to my previous role, I knew where to look. I was prepared because I was familiar with the interview process. I ended up landing a higher position as a junior account exec. And the sales director there took me under his wing. So now I'm working with top accounts like Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, and Bergdorf Goodman. I got to travel to Germany several times a year and did some major travel to the most beautiful cities in North America. This moment taught me that when one door closes, another one opens. And again, it's usually so much better. When a door closes, it's usually to protect you, to redirect you, or to elevate you. And this is true in life. Like when you look back on relationships that may have ended and you felt devastated at the time, and now you look back and you're like, woo, I dodged a bullet. If you just stay the course, you will see how it all works together for your highest good in the end. So don't fall into the woe is me trap. Apply a growth mindset. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, what is a growth mindset? Well, it looks like this. It's 3 things. When you experience a failure or a setback, take time to acknowledge and process your emotions. Because if you don't have your emotions, they will have you. So take time to work out that frustration. Hit the gym, go for a walk. Maybe you need to get supported around that disappointment. And then the second thing, offer yourself a little self-compassion. What would you say to your best friend, your son or your daughter, if they hit a rough patch? And then turn those words onto you. We're always so much harder on ourselves than we are on others. And thirdly, get the wisdom. Ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? And then you move on. So if you take nothing else from this message, the one thing I'm going to say to you is embrace the breakdowns. It is only from a breakdown that we can actually have a breakthrough. So see your failures as opportunities. It's the most difficult things, the most challenging people and obstacles that make us stronger, wiser, and prepare us for what we are purposed to do. Nelson Mandela says we either win or we learn. And then I added, and then we earn, if we stick with it and master our craft. Those tough times are our greatest teachers. Think of every successful person. On average, they fail about 10 times. So remember that failure is a blueprint for success. So expect setbacks. They are for your setup. Feel your feelings. Offer yourself compassion. And then move to what is the lesson I'm supposed to get from this. An effective way to do that is to change your questions from why to what. So instead of why me, ask what's the wisdom I'm supposed to learn. So the problem hasn't changed. It's the way you're approaching the problem that has changed. I love the quote from Wayne Dyer. He says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that goes for everything. Work, life, love, family, friendships, breakdowns, conflict, challenges, pain, they're all inevitable. However, staying there and suffering is a choice. So I actually encourage you to teach this to your children. Teach them this mindset as young as possible. They will be unstoppable in life, and they are watching you. The more you practice this, you are modeling for them what it looks like to be a resilient, empowered human. And after a long-standing career, living out my passion for fashion, I felt there was more I was still supposed to do on this planet, which led me to coaching. And once again, it was a journey of so many interesting twists and turns. However, it led me to my place on the moon, and that's why I'm here with you today. If I hadn't made that jump, I'm on my third chapter, ladies and gentlemen. So take the limits off is what I'm going to tell you. Never box yourself in. After leaving fashion, I made the jump to finance and became a social entrepreneur. When I co-founded a financial literacy nonprofit, which has helped thousands of young people, which went on to inspire a 5-star rated podcast, which I co-hosted for 5 years. We even got signed to a network. But I'm like, yeah, this is still not it. Even though I am using my voice, I am helping people, there's just something that was still missing. So I kept seeking. This is years. And now I am the founder of Live Your Best Life For You, which allows me to lean in fully to my purpose, to coach, to heal, and speak on the transformational power of forgiveness. So my dear graduates, I say to you, hold tight to your vision. Honor your calling. Leave room for some surprises and miracles. Trust your heart and the process, and success will come to you. Now go out and build something. Change history. Be a light for your children, your community. Forgive often, and remember to have fun. Congratulations.